Now, having that mechanism of action, this epigenetic mechanism of action of Lunasin, explains a lot of the health benefits associated with Lunasin. The first experiments we've done is that it has an effect on overall cellular health. And then subsequently, we've done experiments. We've shown that Lunasin can reduce the bad cholesterol. And other researchers have also found numerous health benefits aside from what we've researched, and that includes oxidative stress at the University of California in Berkeley, where they've shown that Lunasin can reduce effects of oxygen radicals. And also the University of Illinois have done experiments where they've shown that it is anti-inflammatory. That means it prevents inflammation, both acute and chronic inflammation. And the University of Indiana and Purdue University, they've done experiments where they've shown that Lunasin can improve immune response, both innate immunity, which is gives you the ability to resist infections, and also adaptive immunity, which has an effect on allergic reactions. And then we've done also additional experiments where we combined Lunasin with other bioactive nutrients, and we've shown that it was reducing symptoms associated with the metabolic syndrome, as well as weight loss. Now, all these results, health benefits of Lunasin, we intend to do human clinical trials to validate and confirm all these health benefits. One of the causes of skin aging is inflammation, and inflammation is controlled by this master regulator NF-kappa B, and Lunasin controls NF-kappa B for more youthful looking skin. Studies have shown that inflammation is involved in accelerated aging, especially in outward appearance, and that is controlled by this master regulator for inflammation called NF-kappa B. And in studies at Stanford, they've shown that by just reducing NF-kappa B, you restore back the youthful-looking skin. So what Lunasin does is that it downregulates, it reduces the expression of the NF-kappa B master regulator, and also the NF-kappa B regulated genes, the genes that are regulated by this master regulator, are also downregulated by Lunasin through this epigenetic mechanism of action. So there's two modes of anti-inflammatory mechanism, one by downregulating NF-kappa B, and also by reducing the expression of NF-kappa B regulated genes. By downregulating NF-kappa B, you can actually restore the vigor and youthful looking skin. Lunasin reduces cholesterol biosynthesis in the liver by disrupting the key enzyme that's important in producing cholesterol. Cholesterol comes from two sources: cholesterol biosynthesis in the liver, and also cholesterol that's absorbed through the diet. The most effective way of reducing cholesterol is by reducing cholesterol biosynthesis in the liver, because 70% of the cholesterol that you find in the blood comes from the liver. And Lunasin reduces cholesterol biosynthesis in the liver by disrupting the key enzyme that's important in producing cholesterol. And at the same time, it also increases the number of receptors that takes out LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol from the plasma, from the blood. So that's the reason why it can reduce cholesterol. So that's how Lunasin reduces cholesterol two ways. One, by reducing the enzyme responsible for cholesterol biosynthesis in the liver, and also by increasing the number of receptors in the liver that picks out the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol from the blood. By taking Lunasin, you're actually not just reducing inflammation, but you're also reducing your chances of getting chronic disease formation and also the signs of aging. Chronic inflammation is a causal factor associated with many chronic diseases and also conditions of aging. Now, this type of inflammation is controlled by a protein called NF-kappa B, which is found in every cell of the body. So inflammation can affect all the physiological systems and contributes to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, joint pain, and other visible signs of aging. As we age, we naturally produce more of this NF-kappa B, which allows chronic inflammation to occur. Research at the University of Illinois has shown that Lunasin can control the expression of NF-kappa B and also regulate NF-kappa B regulated genes associated with inflammation. And having these two mechanisms of actions allow Lunasin to be not just a potent anti-inflammatory agent, but also can help reduce the risk for chronic disease formation, as well as reduce the visible signs of aging. I provide the Lunarich X and Reliv Now for kids to my children every day because it helps them with their immune function, as well as providing them with energy, which is something that kids really need as they grow. Yeah, I'd like to tell you a story about one time a family friend of ours came over to visit us, and my son was quite proud of me for being on TV talking about Lunasin and Lunarich. And in that TV segment, a sick man was actually taking Lunarich X, and this family friend saw that video and then saw me providing the same capsules to my kids while I was preparing the Reliv Now for kids, which they take every day. And so he was wondering why I'm giving him a medicine, giving my kids this Lunarich X, which he considers as medicine. So I had to tell him, no, the Lunarich X is not medicine, it's actually food, and it's actually good for your kids. And that's what I tried to explain to him. And that's what we're observing with Lunarich X when you combine it with Reliv Now for kids. The bioactive nutrients, the macronutrients and micronutrients found in Reliv Now for kids actually help kids as they develop, for cognitive development, as well as their immune system. Most of the kids, my kids especially, they've never been absent in school because they never get sick, and also helps with mood behavior, as well as providing them with energy, which is something that kids really need as they grow. These are the reasons why I provide Lunarich X and Reliv Now for kids every day to my children. The combination of Lunarich X and Reliv Now, it was reducing free fatty acid, which is a biomarker for obesity as well as for diabetes. Now, in combining those with Lunasin with other bioactive nutrients from Reliv Now, we've discovered that it helps with improving biomarkers for metabolic syndrome. And we didn't really discover this when we looked at the individual components by themselves, but in combination, it's just like the effect is so profound because it was reducing free fatty acid, which is a biomarker for obesity as well as for diabetes. And it was significantly reducing it. And then when we looked at the biological effects associated with reduction of free fatty acids, we've shown that it was also reducing leptin, which is the obesity gene, as well as adiponectin, which is another fat hormones involved in that you actually increase its expression once you exercise. So it's associated with weight loss as well as for reducing diabetes and also cardiovascular disease risk. So, the combination of Lunarich X and Reliv Now was the one that gave us those results. I mean, the specific combination that gave us those results, which indicates that Lunasin combines well with other bioactive nutrients. The NIH, the National Cancer Institute, the American Institute of Cancer Research, and even the American Heart Association have said that soy is safe. We really need to educate the public, the doctors and the medical establishment in particular, about the safety of soy. There are numerous studies, including there's a couple of clinical studies that have recently been published involving at least 5,000 subjects showing that soy is safe, especially for breast cancer. In fact, it was protective against breast cancer. And a lot of the myth associated with the effect of soy and breast cancer, increase in breast cancer incidence, is based on the work done in mice by this professor at the University of Illinois called Dr. Helfrich in early 2000s. Even this professor, 10 years later, after looking at the data, is now telling people that he was wrong in trying to say that soy is bad for you, based on the experiments in mice, because when you look at the estrogen receptor in mice, it's different from the estrogen receptor in humans. So the effect of the soy phytoestrogens in mice, although it's promoting breast cancer cell growth in mice, is actually different from its effect in humans. In humans, it's actually protective, like this drug called tamoxifen, which is they consider it as a selective estrogen receptor modulator, which is the same mechanism as the phytoestrogens found in soy. That means it's protective against breast cancer. So this professor actually changed his tune, but the problem is people still looking at the data that's been done 10 years or 12 years before, saying that soy can promote breast cancer. But again, the NIH, the National Cancer Institute, the American Institute of Cancer Research, and even the American Heart Association have said that soy is safe. Even celebrity doctors were saying that soy is safe based on those human clinical trials, especially the last 2 human clinical trials done. And so if there's somebody, if a doctor or somebody in TV or in the internet saying that soy is not safe, what I would suggest for people is to ask them for data to support their claims, because really the recent human clinical data shows that soy is safe and is protective against breast cancer. We're partnering with other research institutions and universities to confirm and validate all these health benefits that we're actually observing now from people using our products. One of the major advantages that we have as far as Lunasin research is concerned is that we're able not only to show that Lunasin gets into your bloodstream, but once it gets into your bloodstream, we actually have a bioactivity assay to determine that it's still bioactive. Having this bioassay now gives us the opportunity to work with other researchers, because we now have something that a bioactive nutrient that people can take in and make sure that it's still bioactive and bioavailable once you ingest it. Now, the researchers can now use it in human clinical trials to show, to validate and confirm some of the health benefits that we have been getting as far as anecdotal results are concerned. So the future for Lunasin research is really promising, and I think there's going to be a lot of new research results that are going to be coming out in the near future, and it's all going to be validating some of the results that people are already getting now.